A very lovely day to you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, from ever where you're watching us. This is Rero TV, and I am Rero Henry Apos. Today we are with the former local government chairman for Ethiopia West, and now an APC chieftain in Delta State, Chief Dr. Jerry Wilson Omene. Chief, Mingo sir. Quite a long time. Now, Chief, 2023 is just around the corner.
Yes.
And for so many, the Okpe agenda has been a hot topic. Now, the Okpe people, for both APC and PDP, they have been presented with a very fantastic opportunity. The Sheriff Oborevwori for governor, Chief Amori and Dafinone for Senate, which is your party APC. Now, we did a write-up of which you read, and you said you want to react to it. That this opportunity, just how opportune are the Okpes to have two sons vying for these two big positions, sir?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for responding to my request. Kind of write a reply as an honorable person, not as an Okpe man, and of course a Deltan. Now, vividly, nobody will not jump to these great opportunities that probably will, that is in front or in the laps of a community. Of course, for example, you now have two of such opportunities, say Mosoga or Jesse, where I come from. We'll be glad. We'll find a way to see how we can even grab both. But the interest of the people of Okpe should go beyond the rhetorics of I'm an Okpe man, so everything should be in Okpe. No. What I feel is at stake is the interests of Urobo, one, and the interests of the state as our only state where we come from. And when I say the interest of Urobo is tied to the interest of the state, and how do we protect that interest? We must protect the interest of the state. And when we protect the interest of the state, we are automatically protecting the interest of the Urobos. We are automatically protecting the interest of the Okpes within the Urobo. We are protecting the interest of the Sokos, the Jaws, the Chekiris, the Aniomas, and the Ndokwas. That is the interest of the state. Unfortunately, the PDP has never given us any room to benefit from a collective interest that is supposed to be defined and adhered to strictly by governance. We have missed that out in PDP 24 years or near 24 years of waste, where people become so nepotic. They have entrenched nepotism and the bigotry. Of course, let me use the words of the spokesman of PDP, that the government of Okowa, PDP government led by Okowa, is a government of bigots. I'm quoting Barrister Latimer, in his own words, and at the point he left, he threatened to leave, and he left the government. And before he could even put up his resignation, he was dismissed.
Yes.
And of course, sadly, he went begging, like taking back his vomit or eating back his vomit. That was very sad of an honorable person, because it's not part of us, But coming back to the main point, so a government that is already known to be nepotic and to be bigotry in all ramifications in terms of their administration. A government that is now known to be the loan masters. The mastery of loans is is endemic now in Delta State government. People say, oh, what about federal government that has equally done this under APC? Nonsense. Those borrowings are tied to projects which you can see clearly happening. Ibadan Lagos Expressway, Kaduna Zaria Expressway, the Kaduna Abuja Railway, Furu Oblitori to Itakpe Railway. They are tied to projects that you see and that are benefiting to or beneficial to the electorate. But in Delta State, you cannot say yes, this money is tied to this project that you can now refer to as a star project in Delta State. None. If it were not for Wike, God bless him, 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week. No, you and I probably would have not had the privilege of knowing that that the federal government, in its best wisdom of collective responsibility and being your brother's keeper, irrespective of the party you come from, has doled out so much money that PDP held back over the years. Deductions that were illegal. APC government decided, said, no, this is illegal. The money must be refunded. And he has been refunding this money quietly to the states. Delta State running to about over $300 billion naira. Where is the star project? Look at what River State is doing with his own. You know, flyovers all over the place. I learned there's one ramshackle flyover that is going on in Asaba. For God's sake. So where is the money? So if it were not for that revelation, all of us would just be me. But you know why I'm saying this? Very clearly. The Oborevwori manifesto is based on what we call more. More of what has been going on.
Yeah.
That is where I am coming from. More of what has been going on. Meaning they are in consonance, he himself and his team are in consonance with what has been going on. He has been part or parcel of it. He is the speaker, still the current speaker. So you are there, borrowings of this huge magnitude. It's been approved by your House of Assembly. That's a clear indication of rubber stamp. Nothing. Look at the waste that has happened under PDP. When Odwa said, oh, we want a special track for the Kekeda paper buses. And he put it in the middle of the roads, not even on the caps sides. And at the end of the day, this government said, no, after so much criticism, he collapsed it and said, okay, let us do proper dualization. How many years, 8 years running? Apart from the years of the wasted money that Odwa even did. So how do we now accommodate more? I'm using the acronym of Right Honorable Oborevwori. More of decadence.
Maybe more. He wants to improve upon what
more means I have done. This is what we are doing. So we want more of it.
Improve on it.
No.
We want to add to it.
No. If you're telling me we will change the looks of what we have done, we are moving from what has been happening to a new era. It's different from saying I am giving you more of what we have been doing.
Oh, it's true.
They're two different things.
Yes.
And his statement is clear that we're going to give more of what we have been doing.
You expect.
So you should expect more.
Yes.
So why should I expect more of glorified secondary school universities? Because the universities you have, they are glorified. Glorified secondary schools. How do I expect more of secondary schools that have become almost 90% of state secondary schools that have become miracle centers for WAEC and NECO and name them? They are miracle centers. Or you just need to go to the principal and you pay some money. I'll give you a typical example in Mosoga here. I've examined them. Almost all the secondary schools in Mosoga, quote me. They are all miracle centers. Almost all, except one that I found a bit decent, and that is the demonstration school, demonstration secondary school of COPEM, or College of Education, most of them. They have ruined the state so badly that the psyche of every Delta now is that, oh, we're an impoverished state. This is probably what we are destined to be. A state that gets the highest allocation. You cannot for once point to a legacy, a star project. The only star project that they're always referring to is Asaba Airport, which is I'm not, I keep saying it. Asaba Airport is a glorified warehouse.
No, the airport has been concession, sir.
Yeah, it's concession to private.
So it's no longer under.
No. Whether you say it under, that is the star project. You will even make reference to that. We use government money to build. You know, so those things are appalling. Please tell us why we should not think that, oh, our interest in Okpe is to have an Okpe son in place and jeopardize the interest of the rest of Deltans. Okpe don't form up to 10% of the population of Delta. Are we going to be looking at the small, the microscopic interest of the Okpe person in terms of the overall interest of the state? Or we should be looking at the overall interest of the state that will equally cover the Okpe people?
Chief, are you saying that Oborevwori is not fit enough to take?
No, definitely. As an individual, right? I'm not going to state that, but as a party that have a manifesto of more pains, more loans without being tied to projects, more glorified secondary school universities, more secondary school miracle centers. That is for education. More higher school fees for our children in those glorified secondary school universities. Even school fees at secondary school level that they feel is free, and it's not free because the supervision is zero or near zero. So is this what we should be expecting more of? All right, let me go to, that's education. Let me go to health. As I speak to you, let somebody come and challenge me as a medical doctor in that field. I'm not a medical doctor. But I know most of our hospitals suffer more than 60% of mortality rates. They do. Is that more so we should expect more mortality rates in the hospitals? The state hospitals? Go to the teaching hospital in Okara. It's a ghost of itself now. Just go there. They said they are doing renovation. How many years? And meanwhile, you are coming up with a teaching hospital, I think in where Okowa comes from. With speed of light, they're coming up with the projects. While one is dying, that is what I call insensitive, discriminatory policy of government.
Chief, please, so sorry to cut you. Ibori, Delta State has been run by PDP for since 1999. 23
years plus.
Yes. And now we've seen that from Ibori to Donald's time down to Okowa's time, there has been this discrepancy in the way that they do things. There have been this coherence has not been there. Now, don't you think that Sheriff Oborevwori might just have his own ideas that might differ from that of Okowa?
My comments today with you is based on what Right Honorable Oborevwori said he will do.
Yeah, it's true.
He did not say he wants to do something differently. Okay. PAPC is telling you completely that it's a paradigm shift from the nonsense that is happening in Delta State in the last 23 years plus. A complete change, complete diversion from ineptitude, from high mortality rates hospitals being recorded, from one rainy season roads that has earned the man roadmaster of one rainy season. A shift from glorified secondary school universities. A shift from secondary school miracle centers. A shift from reckless borrowing that is not tied to what? To projects, star projects. A shift from non-transparency of government. A shift from impunity of governance. A shift from non-transparency and accountability of the current government. I've counted a lot of this, and there are many more. Today when you say you are from Delta, do you know what they tell you? Oh, what a shame. That statement is deep in the hearts of non-Deltans. Oh, what a shame. Because they see that for someone like you that have this acumen to get things done, your state is going comatose over things that they ought to have done rightly. And there's resources are there to get them done. This is the pain. Yeah. You have the resources, but no results that will match those resources. Corruption at its best. And you, Oborevwori, is telling me and you that I want to do more of what we have been doing, or what Okowa has been doing. That he wants to do more of the legacy of Okowa, so that these are the legacies of Okowa. Let Okowa just come and explain to Deltas what he has done with those extras that he has hidden all this while with Oborevwori. Because without the National Assembly must definitely know about those monies coming in. Sorry, the State House of Assembly. Yeah. They must know. So if you know, what did you say about it? And you're talking about Okpe. Are you telling me that Okpe does not deserve a university or a polytechnic?
Of course they do.
They do?
They do.
Oh, fine. So if they do, how come his own administration as a speaker approved 3 universities, new universities, and he could not influence one to his Okpe land as a speaker, because without him, that bill will not pass into law. He allowed a bill that is anti-Urhobo, anti-Okpe, anti the unification of this state, to go through. And you see what to rely on such person to be our governor? Of course, it's just an extension. Of course, he has even said it more. So an extension of a government that is known to be nepotic and bigotry in all that they do. Governorship is not a thing when it comes to senator. We've managed to accommodate senatorial zoning. If we have managed to accommodate senatorial zoning, you are not saying that within that senatorial zone, it should be zoned again. Then which means you are really...
That's the argument of...
Yeah, which means that if you come up with such argument, then you are actually telling us that Deltans are mumus, are nincompoos, they are non-intelligent beings. Even coming up with zoning something for Delta State, let us do senatorial zone by senatorial zone, because we want to accommodate everybody. Personally, I don't even think it's right. Because that reduces the impact of capacity building. Somebody who probably would have been a better candidate from somewhere else will be shortchanged. He will be locked out of the race completely.
It's maybe 16 years.
He will be locked out for another 16 years.
Yeah.
So we need to get people like Omo-Agege, who has actually demonstrated the capacity to lead. For the very first time in the history of this state, you have a senator that is really down to earth, to work and bring the dividend of democracy home in all ramifications. It's not two-way about it. Show me anybody, any senator that has been since 1999, if there's any before 1999, apart from even Senator Dafinone, whom we know too was an enigma in that Senate, in that house. Omo-Agege has proven that these young ones can do more or can do a lot for us. But no, I'm not going to run into projects that doesn't even have the authority to do, but he was able to bring them. Those are executive responsibilities, projects, apart from what I will call constituency projects. It's not his responsibility to go and bring projects. It is his responsibility to make laws. But this man went beyond that and flooded the whole place with projects. His constituency, and even beyond his constituency. Sometimes he walks across. So, Okpe people, I want to let them know that governorship thing is not a child's play that has to be solved. It never reaches us, it must reach us now. If they really felt that they should reach them, that they should have convinced Dafinone, whom I know is the #1 person now in Okpe land, politically, in terms of etiquette, knowledge, philanthropy, and anything. In fact, competence ends with that young man. Composure. He's a perfect gentleman, an investor who knows his left from his right. We're not just talking of brigadiers who will say, oh, because I've been in government since 1999, I've been a de facto, like my friend here and my brother here in Mosoga. No. These are not the kind of people who want to represent us. I have somebody too from Mosoga, but I can't support such a person because I know he's not going there to deliver anything that is meaningful to Robo people. There's a difference between playing politics of me, I, and myself than politics of we, us, and ourselves. Eddie Dafinone has grown beyond me, I, and myself. Look at the investments. It's known, it's seen. Is it his foundation? The Eddie Dafinone Foundation that has helped some people just quote hundreds and hundreds of people. No, you should be talking of thousands. And he's such a quiet person, he would not even mention it. Ask my brother here from Mosoga what he has done, how many people he has empowered in terms of training or whatever. Personally first, not even using government power that have been in his hands since 1999. None. So the issue, let me go back to the issue of say Okpe or not Okpe. Okpe cannot claim right to governorship. If your claim to right to governorship is the same claim to every individual Robo person to the same governorship. But we're talking about senatorial. That is for us, only for us in Robo. See the difference? It's only for us in Robo. And the Robo man should go beyond zoning formula. They should think of the best person in all ramifications that will really do well to project our name. We're not talking of people who become senators and the next thing is cruising with 10 girls or 15 girls in America or in Japan or something. No, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at seasoned personalities like Eddie Dafinone, who will not even think of his salary as something from the Senate. His father never spent 1 naira of his salaries and his allowances to himself while he was in the Senate. He gave it out. He just gave it out to his constituency. Right? And we cannot, they should realize it, we cannot afford to mortgage the interest of the state just for the interest of Okpe alone. Quote me. That is the key thing. Because your Okpe son has said he wants to unleash more terror, more impunity, more recklessness, more ineptitude, more decayed tertiary institutions, educational system, more rainy season roads, more of borrowings that are not tied to any specific project. Okpe people cannot afford this because I know them to be very good people. So if they think along this direction, they will know, yeah, Dr. Mene is making sense. And they will have no option to say, oh yeah, let's stick to one that we know has demonstrated the capacity to do what? Lift up Robo people. It's not only Okpe people he wants to lift. He wants to lift Robo people. He wants to lift me up too. By lifting me up is as simple as taking care of the things that we ought to get from democracy or practicing true democracy. If I get that, Dr. Mene is lifted. I don't need money from government to put in my pocket. That's not the kind of representation we're looking at. No. We're looking at representation that matters a lot, that can do the things that will bring succor to all this wickedness of PDP governance. On what ground are you even comparing PDP Oborevwori's government to Ede Davinone's dynasty in terms of dividends of what these two families have done for Okpe people?
No, we're not comparing the two. We are saying the Okpe people, they've been presented with two
even when you're opportunities. Yes, when you're presented with two opportunities, do you go for somebody you can trust?
No,
or you go for somebody who will now
political party.
That's
now can the Okpe have both, or do they have to choose and say, okay, let's support this one and let this one step down? That's just the whole idea.
That's the point I'm making. How do you want to support a government of pain to be continued by their son? He had said it with himself. Or go with someone that has always gone along with you in progress. A family that has always gone along with you in progress. They have even brought your name to international fora.
Guinness Book of Records, yeah.
Apart from Guinness Book of Records, in the entire international world, they are known. And we are proud of it as Urobo people. Very, very proud. So, I am.
So you're saying they should if they are given opportunity to pick, they should pick the senatorial seat with Ede Dafinone and forgo Sheriff.
These are simple. It's not even that they pick or not pick. It is obvious that this is where you have more benefits. Wow. It is very obvious.
They have more benefits.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Governor.
Yes. Wow. I'll tell you. When you have somebody who you know his character and steadfastness in everything he does, it didn't even start from him. The legacy has started from age-long family name of the Okpe, the Dafinones. Right? They're the custodian of the Okpe kingdom for a very, very long time. How do you move from the known to the unknown?
Yeah, maybe because they've been yearning for this position for so long.
When you yearn for a position and the position is coming at the wrong time, being represented by a wrong person who will be used by a non-Okpe person to what? Unleash terror and the entire state, not just Okpe people. Okpe will still feel it because people will cry out. If you don't have a good representation, of course, initially, they will look at it as, oh, it's these people. So everybody says, Ibori is a very good man, Urobo feels proud of that, isn't it? Oh, it's been a good man because his government, he took care of everybody. That's his largesse for everybody, whether illegally or legally. I'm not going to go into that. You and I know what happened. All right? Yes. Now, you want to have someone who will leave a legacy that will project your kingdom properly. We don't want to have someone to represent me. I might as well let go such opportunity that will bring bad name to my place. I'm an Omene, and probably there's an opportunity to bring somebody to represent the Mene somewhere, maybe in the United Nations. And one of Mene is just coming to say, oh, opportunity. And I see that, no, this, all of us see that this person, if he goes there, is going to disgrace your Mene back. Because whatever he's going to come up with, is going to be someone who is sending him there that is not the Mene. And the intention of that person is not to project a Mene. The intention of that is to, oh, you go there because I know in the political calculation of this, is your Mene that is supposed to be there. That's how I can get you to go there. But this is what we are going to do. He say, yes, sir. I will do that. Your Mene tells us that this is what we are, more of what the man who is sending him there to represent the Mene. That's crazy. So you don't move from the known to unknown. It's never done. In simple English terms. Don't change a winning team. The Dafinones have always been a winning team for the Okpe people. Why do you want to change it?
But Chief, this is a political thing now. The Okpes, they did not pick Oborevwori, neither did they pick Dafinone. It was their political parties.
Yes.
Now, the people, they've been presented with two fantastic, good opportunities. You want them to say, okay, let's keep this one and let's.
Let me tell you, let me tell you something. Is this the only person that will make a governor?
No, is the one that we're talking about the Okpe
overwhelmingly in this state today, except such person is blind or he does not seek his conscience before taking decisions. Unless such group of persons, overwhelmingly today, the entire state, except those group of persons, knows very well that there is utter need, absolute need to what? Change the government of wickedness. I've explained them in the past, and I'm not. It's overwhelming. The opinion is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Wherever we go to, every day, you see the impact. As APC, this is the first time in the history of this state, politically, where you now have an opposition being welcomed by everybody. I can tell you, 80% of Deltans are sick and tired of this recklessness, this ineptitude, this impunity, this lack of the wherewithal to do things that are good for the people of Delta State. A state where you have professors and everybody, doctors, and you just push them down and cover them up with blanket of suffocating chemicals. We can't afford that anymore. So we're taking that veil off the eyes of Deltans already. And let them vote wisely for that party to go into oblivion. It had to go into oblivion. And that is why I'm telling you that Okpe people as individuals or as a group of persons they will not think, because I know them, they are very enlightened people. They know that this is not, PDP is not the interest of this state. If it's just the interest of Okpe and they say, oh, please give it to us because it's our interest, then that means they are not patriotic citizens of Delta State. Wow. APC is talking about patriotism, whereby everything we do must be dependent upon the interest, having considered it deeply, of the electorate. And that's why we have this edge to band. Sound economic policy, employment is going to be guaranteed. Now there's a European employment and empowerment. No, there are things you have not seen the manifesto. I'm going to get it for you. These are things we have thought out, sat down, ironed out, tested it in terms of what is possible, and we came up with this manifesto. So yes, these ones are the possibilities. Let's put it together. And of course, in the course of doing things, a lot of changes will equally take place in terms of feedback loop. You're talking of employment and empowerment, development, which will cut across infrastructural development, cuts across, putting in place. I'm not talking of Odoa's, Odoa and Okowa's, what do you call it, industrial centers. We are talking of real industrial centers that have been driven by the private sector, having provided those infrastructural requirements that this industry will need in that place.
Yes,
so please, Okpe people should not even think of returning PDP to government just because it is their son. They will be disappointed at the end of the day. If all of them even vote PDP, they will be disappointed because PDP will be swept under the carpet come 2023. Trust me, and quote me as well.
Wow.
So either Dafinone is their choice. APC is their choice for governorship because that is the only party right now that can bring this, can take this state out of the comatose that it's been driven into, out of the abyss of confusion that it's been driven into. Please, they should be patriotic to think deeply that this state, the entire state, need to come out of this mess. Not only Okpe people coming out of this mess. Oborevwori probably will say, what you're trying to explain to me, that he might probably introduce what I used to call positive discriminating policies by developing Okpe land. Is that what it is in governance? My brother. And then Dafinone is their best choice so that we don't miss, or they don't miss out on true representation that will bring pride of place to the Okpe nation. Or you want to talk about our people here? So of course, that's a misfit when it comes to having that office. It's a misfit. We can't have that Muslim man to go and represent us at the Senate because it will be a misfit, complete misfit. Complete.
Wow, Chief, for the up 10 time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome any day.
Yes, sir. We have been speaking to Chief Dr. Wilson Omene, an APC chief team in Delta State. This is Rero TV, and my name is Oborevwori MORE Agenda. Thank you for watching.